A very good morning to all of you, my dear children. In my previous video, I have discussed different parts of the gynoecium and placentation. In this video, I would like to discuss floral formula and how to describe a family under the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Floral formula, how to write down? For writing the floral formula, we use certain symbols. For example, for representing bract, we use BR. For calyx, we use K. For corolla, we use C. For perianth, we use P. What is perianth and what is corolla? Calyx. Calyx is the outermost one. Individual segment is sepal. Corolla, second outermost one, and the perianth is the type when the whole cannot be differentiated into calyx and corolla. Then that outermost whole is called perianth and individual segment is called tepal. Then the male reproductive whole is androecium. It is represented by A, and then the gynoecium is represented by G, and then if the ovary is superior, then we have to give a sit to sit. So that means a line has to be drawn below the G. That means ovary superior. Sit is given. Ovary superior, that means the different other holes are below the ovary. This type of flower is known as hypogynous, right? Then inferior, here the line is drawn above the G, and inferior means that the ovary is inferior. That means the other holes of the flower are present above the ovary, right? That is the epigynous. Superior means hypogynous flower and ovary superior, and other holes are below the ovary, and in case of inferior ovary, ovary is present at the bottom and the other holes are present above the ovary, right? So in case of inferior ovary, above the G line has to be drawn, and in case of superior ovary, sit has to be given to the ovary, so the line is drawn below the G. So easy to remember. Now the male, the symbol is used for representing the male flower is this one. For representing the female flower, this symbol is used. For the bisexual flower, this symbol is used. Now, if the flower is actinomorphic, that is, can be divided into two equal radial hubs. If the plane passes through the central axis, that is the actinomorphic, right? Zygomorphic means only the flower can be divided only once into two equal hubs at a particular, if the plane passes through the center at a particular point. So there is the difference between actinomorphic and zygomorphic. Already we have learned in our previous to previous video, and for representing actinomorphic we use this symbol, and for representing zygomorphic we use this symbol. But for writing the floral formula, there is a sequence. Not only the symbol, there is also a sequence. What is that? That is, first we have to represent whether it is actinomorphic or zygomorphic. Here in this floral formula, you can see that is the flower is actinomorphic. Then we have to mention that is the sex of the flower. It represents bisexual flower. Then calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Calyx, here it is written 2 plus 2. That means 4 sepals are present in 2 holes. Corolla, 4 petals are present but in 1 hole. And androecium, 2 holes are present, in outer hole 2 and the inner hole 4 stamens are present. Gynoecium, seat is given, that means ovary superior, and the pistils are 2, but here you can see that is one bracket is given. That means here we find the Syncarpus gynoecium, that is 2 pistils are fused together. So from the floral formula we can understand the adhesion and cohesion of the holes or between the holes. Adhesion of the different parts of the hole, that is shown by writing the number within a bracket. For example, that I told you here, that is 2 pistils are fused together. That's why 2 is written within a bracket, right? So if all these petals are attached to each other, then we are supposed to write down 4 and within a bracket. That means fused. The petals are fused together. But here it is free, that's why no bracket. So if the bracket is given, that means fused. If no bracket, that means the parts are not fused. And if in one hole, then only the number is written in this way. If it is more than one hole, then in this way it will be written 2 plus 2, 2 plus 4, in which hole how many numbers are present, right? And at the same time we can we can show the attachment also. Say for example that the stamens are attached to the carpel. What is the name of that type? That is the epipetalous, right? If the stamens are attached to the carpel, then it is called epipetalous stamen. So how it can be represented in the floral formula? Simply by drawing a line on top of A and C. Instead of line, we can use bracket also. It also represents that androecium and the corolla that are attached, that is stamens are attached to the petals, right? So that is the principles for writing the floral formula. So from the floral formula we can understand the different parts of the flower. We can understand the structure of the flower, whether it is actinomorphic or zygomorphic, sexual or bisexual, calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, whether all holes are present or not, and how many in number, sepal, petal, and whether they are free or united, that can also be understood, right? And whether ovary is superior or inferior, everything can be understood from the floral formula. So the symbol is used for explaining the floral formula, and at the same time there is a sequence for writing the floral formula, right? And then the another important part that comes, that is the floral diagram. Here, this dot represents the position of the mother axis, and these represents the different holes. So when we wish to draw the floral diagram, first we have to show the position of the mother axis, and with respect to that mother axis, we have to draw the different parts of the flower. The outermost circle represents calyx, then the second one represents corolla, and then the third one represents androecium, and the innermost one represents gynoecium. So here you see from the floral formula we can understand that is number of sepals are 4 in number, and 2 are outside and 2 are inner side, and all are free, not attached, right? Now the next one is the corolla. Here corolla, the number of petals are 4 and they are free from each other, and it represents valvate estivation, right? Then the next one, androecium, that is 4, 2 plus 4, so outer one, that is 2, and then inner side 4 are present and they are free. Okay, so that is the androecium. And then the gynoecium, ovary, that is 2 are present, and it represents axile placentation. Okay, so here we can show that if that the petals or the sepals are attached, then we have to join in this way. Okay, that represents that they are attached to each other, fused together. Okay, then we have to draw in this way. So whether the sepals or petals are free or not, that can also be understood from this floral diagram. Okay, and here the stamens are free from each other. If the stamens are what attached to each other, then we have to draw in this way. If the stamens are attached to the petal, epipetalous, then we have to draw in this way. Got my point? That is stamen attached to the petals, epipetalous. So what is the difference between the, what extra points we can get from the floral diagram? Definitely the estivation and the placentation we can understand from the floral diagram, which we cannot understand from the floral formula. So for the description of the flowering plant, that the floral formula and the floral diagram is very important. I hope it is clear, isn't it? Now, how to describe a family? For describing a family, a particular sequence is followed. For example, first habit, then the vegetative characteristic features, that is stem, root, leaves, and then the flower, inflorescence, flower, and then the fruit, then floral formula and the floral diagram. And it should be in brief, and it should be written using the scientific language. All these are the important points when we are going to describe a family. With the help of one example, family Solanaceae, uh, I will discuss it. Solanaceae, here the members are mainly herbs, some are shrubs or rarely small trees. That is, first we have to write down the habit. Now the stem. Stem, it is green in color, herbaceous, aerial, erect, cylindrical. Sometimes we find instead of cylindrical, we find, uh, for example, Ocimum sanctum, tulsi, that is the square, not cylindrical. And branched, and here it is, the stem is branched and it is hairy. On its surface, hair is present. That's why it is called glabrous. And alternate, that is, branching is like this pattern. From here, one branch has developed, then another branch has developed, then another branch has developed. Okay, and the leaf, we can understand it is the simple leaf without any stipule. That's why exstipulate. And venation is the reticulate venation. Okay, venation is reticulate venation. So description should be in brief, scientific words to be used, proper sequence to be maintained. Now the floral characters. Inflorescence, in case of Solanaceae, it is solitary axile and the cymose, that is flower at the tip of the floral axis. Okay, or in some family it may be racemose, but here it is cymose. Then the flower is bisexual, that is complete flower, actinomorphic, calyx, that is five in sepals are five united. That's why you see here the calyx 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are drawn in this way, the outermost hole, and these are joined. So it represents that the petals, sepals are 5 in number and that are fused together. And estivation also valvate. Corolla, here you can see that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 5 are there. It represents valvate estivation, and here also they are joined, fused together. That's why it has been shown in this way, right? It is joined. So second hole, second circle represents the whole of the corolla, right? Then the androecium. Androecium stamens, how many in number? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in number. They are free from each other. But here you see that is attached to the petal. That means epipetalous. That's why this line has been drawn. Okay, so epipetalous. Clear? Now the gynoecium, that is bicarpellary, two carpels are present, syncarpus, they are fused together, and ovary is superior. That's why the seat is given, the line is drawn below the G, bilocular and axial placentation, right? And fruit is berry, and here as many seeds are present, so within each locule. So floral formula, as I told you, a particular sequence has to be followed. First one, that is actinomorphic or zygomorphic, it represents, it is the actinomorphic. Then bisexual, calyx 5 in number, fused together, corolla, that is that petals are 5 in number, fused together, that's why in a bracket. Androecium, stamens are 5 in number, they are free from each other, but that the androecium, the stamens are attached to the corolla, that is epipetalous, that's why this line is drawn or the bracket is drawn. Then the gynoecium, 2 in number, fused together, that's why within bracket, and seat is given, that means superior ovary. So from the floral formula and the floral diagram, we can understand the structure of the flower, and this represents the position of the mother axis. Okay, so family Solanaceae, fruit berry, Solanum nigrum, that is the brinjal family. Simple leaves, we have to mention whether hair is present or not, that the herbaceous, glabrous, hairy, cylindrical flowers, that pentamerous, 1 2 3 4 5 fused together. So in this way we have to describe family. I hope what I have discussed now is clear to you and you have enjoyed this video. Is not it? Be inquisitive, be curious, and keep learning. Thank you.